Hi, this is TJR, and I want to talk about this performance given by Mariah Carey last night on television, this New Year's Eve performance that happened. I had not seen the actual broadcast, but heard about it the next day, went home and watched the video on YouTube of her performance. And as I'm watching this video, I'm seeing nothing but a row of videos all saying the same thing. Lip sync fail. She forgot the words. Disaster. And in case you've never been to my channel before, this is the first time you've seen a video from me. I'm a professional musician. I've worked many years, played hundreds and hundreds of gigs. And as I watched this video objectively and professionally, I honestly don't believe that this is a lip sync failure. In fact, I don't think she intended to lip sync at all. I think she intended to sing live. Now, clearly, of course, the music tracks, the backing tracks, are all pre-recorded. You can also hear some of the high-pitched siren calls that she's been known for doing in the background vocals popping up periodically throughout the track as she is unable to sing. And I think what happened is she lost her place. Now, I'm going to get to that in just a moment here. But first, let me tell you why I don't think this is a lip sync fail and why I think she never intended to lip sync. Now, first of all, you may remember several years ago, pop singer Ashlee Simpson on SNL caught lip syncing. Now, what happened in that situation is the band was playing live. Suddenly, we hear her vocals, even though the microphone is down here by her side. She realizes that her vocals are playing, but she's not singing. And she brings the mic up here. Suddenly, the vocals stop. She panics and doesn't know what to do. She dances a jig. She walks off stage, frustrated. And later on, as the show closes, she blames the band for it. What had happened is the drummer, who was playing live, and so is the rest of the band, the drummer was supposed to hit a sync button on the right beat so that her vocal would start where it's supposed to start in the song. The drummer missed that, started it early. So the vocal started earlier than she anticipated. I should say the pre-recorded vocal started earlier than she anticipated, and she got caught. This was a lip sync fail, and she was caught red-handed. Now, the reason I don't think that this was a lip sync fail for Mariah Carey was because if it was, then we would have seen something similar. She would have been there dancing, whatever, with the microphone, probably not in front of her mouth, or even in front of her mouth, but suddenly we would have heard a vocal, but her mouth is not moving. That would be a lip sync fail. She missed it. And this didn't happen. What we did see was her, what I believe is losing her place, not knowing where in the song she was, and not being able to find her place. Now, before I proceed any further, there is a video on YouTube called What Caused Mariah Carey Lip Sync Failure in 2017. The YouTube user is Yamato905. And I want to point out this person, this video creator, because I think they did a good job with a video that tries to explain that somewhere along the way, she lost her in-ear monitor. Now, if you've never performed professionally, this is something you probably don't realize. Usually, if you're trying to perform a live performance, with real musicians, the PA system, the speakers are always faced out in front of the stage so the audience can hear it. But you, the performers, really can't hear it that well. You can't hear the mix that well. So there's always been on-stage monitors. These are monitors, speakers that sit on the floor that are angled, and each performer each musician, the vocalist, will have a monitor, near them so they can hear the mix. They can hear the mix that the audience is hearing. And if you've never performed professionally in any way, you probably don't understand that if you can't hear yourself properly, you can't sing properly. You'll be off key. You have to be able to hear yourself. And now, like I said before, in the past, we've always had, on stage, on the floor monitors. And that still is, by and large, the norm for most performing groups when you're on a big stage. However, for the much larger acts now, we have what's called in-ear monitors, where instead of a monitor on the floor, you just have a monitor in your ear. It's wireless and it allows for more freedom of movement. And these can be great, provided they work. If they don't work, it can be absolutely disastrous. And in the video from Yamato 905, he has some still photographs, and I'm sorry, he or she, I don't know to be precise, but they have some still photographs where they kind of break it down and they kind of see what they think is one of the dancers trying to still actually hook up her in-ear monitor. And then where you see the in-ear monitor dangling away from her ear, like hanging by the side, she's trying to find it and she can't, get it properly set up. This, of course, all should have been done before she got on stage. Maybe, I understand there was a previous song, maybe it fell out and one of the dancers was trying to help her before the next song started. Now, the other half of this equation is there's no live band. If you watch the video, there's no live band. There's just the dancers. All the backing tracks are pre-recorded, as well as the backing vocals, which I mentioned earlier, those high-pitched siren calls that she's been known for doing. So what I suspect happened is because she didn't have the in-ear monitors, she lost her place. She couldn't hear everything properly. And I'm guessing that maybe in those in-ear monitors, there's some sort of possibly a count-off. I know a lot of drummers, when they're professional drummers, when they're performing live on a big stage, in their in-ear monitor, they've also got a metronome going. Usually that metronome gives them their opening beat so that they don't have to count it off in front of an audience. They can just, boom, start. And also that metronome keeps going so that they don't lose the tempo. And this is very common. And professional drummers know how to follow a click track, and because they're the anchor behind everything. But here there's no live band. It's just pre-recorded. So if she misses the mark, and there may have been some sort of count-off mark that's coming through the inner monitor that says 3, 2, 1, go. And she knows, okay, here's where I start the first line. And then from there, she continues. Because there's no live band, I think it makes it even harder to find your place. If there's a live band and you've had a lot of professional experience with this live band, and you have a lot of communication with them, and by communication, I mean on-stage communication. If you lose your place as the lead singer, the band, if they're professional, knows to vamp until you find your place, and then they begin the count from there. I've seen this happen before. I've seen, great professional bands where the lead singer might lose their place. They might just skip a word and then come back in where they're supposed to. They might wait for the band to vamp a little bit until they can find their place again and then keep going forward. This happens to even the best of them, the best of professionals. But because she had no live band, the band can't vamp for her. It's all pre-recorded, and it's just going to keep going. And so I think what happened is she lost the in-ear monitor, she lost her place in the song, either because she couldn't hear the mix properly, or because she didn't get whatever, there might have been a count-off as well. She didn't get either of these things. Once you're lost, you're kind of lost. And especially if there isn't that much differentiation between the verses and the chorus as far as how the music is performed, it can be very hard to find your place back again and to know where to come in vocally. She tried a few times, but still couldn't find it. And, after it was over with, and I should stop right now, and before I say what I'm about to say, a lot of people on YouTube said, this was a meltdown. She had a meltdown. She didn't have a meltdown. Because after it was over with, she didn't do like Ashley Simpson. She didn't blame the band. There's no band there, of course. She didn't blame anybody. She didn't blame any technicians. From everything I've read, she just simply said, this stuff happens sometimes, was kind of her attitude. I think she made a remark of, here's to making headlines in 2017. She clearly wasn't happy about it. She clearly was very upset about it. Who wouldn't be, But these things do happen from time to time. But she didn't have a meltdown. She simply she just took it on the chin and was like, oh, well, this kind of shit happens. And I feel bad for her. I think she intended to sing. True, they had everything else pre-recorded, but I think she intended to actually really sing. I don't think she ever intended to lip sync. And it's a shame to me that people are calling this a lip sync fail. Because once again, had it been a lip sync fail, then we would have heard pre-recorded lead vocals and she would have missed the mark and totally, flubbed the lip syncing. And we didn't see that. So, call this a karaoke fail? I don't know. I don't think even that's a proper term. I think call this a technical fail with the in-ear monitor. And but this is what I think happened. I don't think this is a lip sync fail. And I think that people are jumping to conclusions because they've never performed professionally before. And so at any rate, though, this is what I think happened. Want to thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And Mariah Carey, hey, it happens to the best of them. Anybody saying her career is over with, no. She'll move on. She'll continue. And at any rate, though, please try to be a little more forgiving. And anyways, though, everybody, Happy New Year, and stay tuned for more videos. Take care. Bye-bye.